Right, so welcome back to another video on this channel. Welcome back to another episode of my Premier League Game Week prediction series. This is now Game Week 27 and a bit of an unusual week because we only actually have 7 games this week to actually watch in the Premier League this week. And yeah, last weekend I got myself 7 points, which, you know, isn't the worst, but at the same time I would like to maybe better it a little bit this week. And yeah, before we do get into this video, I would like to quickly ask you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we are now looking to hit 1,500 subscribers on this channel as soon as we possibly can. So if you were to hit that subscribe button right now, it would cost you absolutely nothing and would make my day, so it is very much a win-win situation. And without further ado, let's get into predicting these Game Week 27 Premier League fixtures. Starting off with the game at the Etihad between the runaway leaders Manchester City and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, City made 20 wins in a row in all competitions with a well-fought victory over West Ham at the Etihad at the weekend. Still no major injury issues for Manchester City whatsoever. I mean, Nathan Ake, their only injury at this moment in time in their first team squad, just breezing through the league at this moment in time. I mean, they're just there in the league. They're just there at this moment in time just to win games and do nothing else, if I'm honest. And yeah, from a Wolves perspective, I mean, they're unbeaten in the last 5 Premier League games now, 3 of those being victories. And more good news for them is the fact that their manager Nuno Espirito Santo has, you know, maintained that he is positive that Raul Jimenez will return before the end of the season, which obviously is very important news for them. And yeah, as I said, Wolves look a little bit rejuvenated in recent weeks with those 5 games unbeaten. And yeah, once again though, you really can't bet against this Manchester City team. I'm backing them once again, like everybody should at this stage, if I'm honest. Manchester City 2, Wolves 0. Yeah, I just feel like City, they're just unstoppable at this moment in time, and I think they are going to make 21 wins after this game against Wolves. On to the second game of this week, and that is at Turf Moor, Burnley versus Leicester City. Now, Burnley were dispatched easily against Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium at the weekend, and they should still survive, don't get me wrong. They're picking up enough points on a fairly consistent basis to survive comfortably. In terms of a Leicester standpoint, I mean, they were well and truly beaten by Arsenal on Sunday as well with relative ease, and they were just really poor, both going forward and defensively. But I will, you know, go out on a limb and say that they do kind of do this season, where they kind of tend to go on 4 or 5 game unbeaten runs, and then they end up losing one every 4 or 5 games. So they are due a victory with that stat in mind, but they are missing quite a few players as well, like James Justin, Wesley Fofana, James Maddison, Dennis Pratt, Jose Perez, and now Harvey Barnes, who was added to that list as well, who will probably miss the end of the season, unfortunately. So yeah, Leicester have been extremely unlucky with injuries. I mean, we go on about, you know, Liverpool missing a lot of players with injuries, and that's fair enough because they have, but Leicester have missed a lot of players and are missing a lot of players now through injury as well, so we have to take that into account. But they do have a very good squad depth, and I do think that they will return to winning ways here with that stat in mind, and I do think it will be Burnley 1, Leicester 2 at Turf Moor. I think Leicester will get back to winning ways, and I think they will hold on for top 4 qualification this season. Now to the next game, and that is taking place at Bramall Lane, Sheffield United versus Aston Villa. Now, Sheffield United have lost the last 4 games on the spin. Now, let's be honest, they just are relegated. They're just here to take points off other teams if they can. Aston Villa themselves, though, have been very inconsistent since the turn of the new year, and don't get me wrong, they're still well in contention for that Europa League place, and maybe even Champions League, you could say as well. They have 2 games in hand over the teams around them as well, which obviously does help. Part of me does feel like Sheffield United will be able to grind a point here, because at the same time they don't really have much to play for, because as I said, they probably are relegated at this stage. They probably have accepted that as well, especially with Jack Grealish out as well for Aston Villa. I think will be a massive miss for them. He's still not back for this game. I'm going to go out with my gut on this one, even though Aston Villa will probably win this one. I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to go for Sheffield United 1, Aston Villa 1, and yeah, as I said, Aston Villa could very easily win this one, and probably will do, but my gut is telling me that Sheffield United will manage to squeeze a point from this Aston Villa team. Now to the next game, and that is taking place in London, Selhurst Park to be precise, Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. Now, Palace still without Wilfried Zaha, and to be honest, they just go into every game looking to put 11 men behind the ball, and they just go in and go, yeah, you know what, we'll just block everything you put at us. We'll just do whatever we can to not lose this game, and that's what they've done since Wilfried Zaha has maintained that injury in recent weeks. They've been absolutely dominated, played off the park in their last 2 games against Brighton and Leeds respectively, and somehow have come away with 4 points from a possible 6. I mean, Wilfried Zaha still isn't back for this game as well though, so, you know, prepare for a lot more of the same Manchester United fans, because Crystal Palace will be absolutely over the moon if they were to take a point from this game. United just getting through the season, as I said at the weekend, they're just slowly getting the season over with. They're getting top 4, let's be honest, but at the same time, they're really not competing for the Premier League title anymore. They are unbeaten in the last 9 games in all competitions though, I will give them that, so they are on quite decent form if you look at it from that perspective. And to be honest, I think this is actually the type of game that Manchester United would, you know, somehow lose, but I just feel like they have too much quality. I can't see Crystal Palace getting anything from this game without Wilfried Zaha, as I keep mentioning, but yeah, I've gone for Crystal Palace 1, Manchester United 3, and yeah, I just think that United will have too much quality and will see off this Palace team. And on to the next game, taking place in London once again, this time at Craven Cottage, Fulham versus Tottenham Hotspur. Now, Fulham now 3 points behind Newcastle and Brighton in that relegation battle. The next 3 games though, really tough, because first of all you have Tottenham, then you have Liverpool, and then you have Manchester City. But yeah, a really tough game now for Fulham going forward. They are the draw specialists because they've actually drawn 11 of their 26 games they've played in the Premier League this season, so another draw on the cards maybe here. I'd say they'd probably take that, if I'm honest. Tottenham, on the other hand, finally back to winning ways after that, long drought, and yeah, with a 4-0 win, a comfortable win over Burnley on Sunday. They actually did attack the whole game, Spurs, which was, a lot different to what we've seen under Jose Mourinho so far in his Tottenham tenure. So will they go with that again against Fulham? Maybe, because Fulham, do play a little bit more football in terms of attacking, free-flowing football, so maybe they might go back to the, conservative brand of football. But even still, can Spurs win back-to-back games for the first time since November? Yes, November was the last time Spurs have won 2 games on the spin in the Premier League. Yeah, this is genuinely one that could go either way in my personal opinion, but yeah, Fulham are kind of due defeat a little bit because they haven't lost in, quite some time if you think about it. They have drawn a lot, but they haven't lost in quite some time, and for that reason I think that Spurs will win this one. I've gone for Fulham 1, Tottenham 2, and yeah, I just think that Spurs will just about edge this one and finally get their second win in the Premier League in a row since November. And now onto the penultimate game of this particular game week, and yeah, we're very early into this video, but it already seems like we're getting to the business end of this game week, and this one is taking place at the Hawthorns, West Brom versus Everton. Now, West Brom got a much needed 3 points against Brighton at the weekend in controversial fashion, but they will take it nonetheless. A massive win for them. Don't get me wrong, I think they're too far gone to actually survive relegation this season, but it will give them a glimmer of hope, and I'm sure they'll still believe that they can survive after that win against Brighton at the weekend. Everton themselves narrowly beat Southampton at Goodison Park last night, and this win actually could potentially move them into the top 4 of the Premier League and still have a game in hand over the teams around them as well, which is absolutely massive. So they will be looking to, take 3 points in this one and maybe make a statement to the rest of the Champions League competing teams. Everton too have a full strength squad once again, like they did at the start of the season when they had that massive run at the start of the season, and they will be dangerous for as long as they can maintain that fully fit squad 4, and for that reason I think I can't see beyond an Everton winning this one, and I've gone for West Brom 1, Everton 2, so I think it will be close, but I just do think that Everton's quality will shine in the end, and I think they will get 3 points from the Hawthorns. And now we move on to the final game of this game week, and undoubtedly the game of this game week, and that is Liverpool versus Chelsea at Anfield. Now, Liverpool finally picked up their first win in 5 Premier League games with that 2-0 victory at Bramall Lane at the weekend against Sheffield United. Has that given them a bit of confidence, or will they go into this game thinking, oh, it was just Sheffield United, it's nothing to shout home about? Chelsea, on the other hand, still unbeaten in 9 games under Thomas Tuchel now in all competitions, of course, now drawn the last 2 games in the Premier League against Southampton and Manchester United respectively. And yeah, I'm not going to lie, we just can't score. We're not clinical enough whatsoever. We don't take our chances. We barely ever score more than 1 or 2 goals in a Premier League game, or a game in general for that matter. Will Alisson play in this game? Because of course, rest in peace to his father who did die during the week. Will he play? I'm going to say probably, if I'm honest, because his impact on this Liverpool team, especially against a team like Chelsea, who, on paper will be considered a very tough opponent for them, I think Alisson will come back into this game, which will be an absolutely massive impact for them in terms of the result in this game. And yeah, as I said, I'm not confident whatsoever, but I'm going to show a little bit of optimism, maybe too much, but yeah, I've gone for Liverpool 2, Chelsea 2. I think we will score more than 1 goal in a Premier League match, so that says something in itself. But yeah, I've voluntarily sat on the fence for this one. I've gone for a draw, and as I said, I've gone for 2-2, simply because of the fact that I don't think either team will have enough to break the other team down. But I'd say if any team is going to nick a win here, I'm not going to lie, it probably will be Liverpool. But yeah, I've gone for a 2-2 draw on this one. And yeah, so that will bring us to the end of these game week predictions. If you want to go and leave your predictions as per usual down in the comment section below, please feel free to do so, because as usual, I'm very interested to see how you guys think these games will pan out in this game week, even though there's only 7 matches. And yeah, so that will bring us to the end of this video ultimately. So if you could leave a like on this video, that would be massively appreciated, because 20 likes as per usual would be massively appreciated by myself. It helps me out massively, and as I said at the start of this video, if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be massively appreciated as well. Because of that reason, we are going for 1,500 subscribers on this channel as soon as we possibly can. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.